I think, like.
And just like that, Arsenal fans, pre-season has come and it's gone. And against Manchester City in the Community Shield, the season kicks off. Obviously, next week at the time of making this vid, we've got Coventry City. And we've got a year of trying to defend our Premier League title. Should probably do another video about how I feel about us defending our Premier League title, because it's a weird space to be in. Like, if you consider how you felt about the club and our need to get over the line last year versus obviously us getting over the line now, and how we feel approaching this season in all competitions and all of those kind of talking points. But pre-season, it's a weird one because I do think there's things you can learn. I don't think there's things you can learn. I do think it's a time, obviously this pre-season has been disrupted, but it's a time to obviously try new things, try out new players, you know, attempt to right the wrongs of last season, address the areas of improvement. But I do think people think pre-season is this magical place. You go for a week or 2 or 3, and everything you need to improve last season and everything you was good at, you've taken it to another level and everything's perfect. In my opinion, I don't think you see, I think you have to look back in hindsight with pre-season. I feel for a variety of reasons, it's been disrupted by the World Cup. There's been players' fitness, you know, they've been involved in not. Everybody, owing to the World Cup, everybody's at different kind of rates. This one needs more minutes, that one needs more minutes. And truthfully, I don't think at a minimum, you don't see the benefits of pre-season until probably 10 games into the Premier League season, when everybody's kind of up to speed. Everyone's on par in a fitness kind of way. They've got that ring rust out because they played X amount of games, etc. But you know what? We played what? Girona, Dortmund, Como, technically MK Dons. I'm definitely missing somebody else out for the life of me, Betis. So we played 5 games. So have we learned anything, people? Let me know your thoughts. And also on that, I've written some notes. Now, the first thing I would say, I'm going to go over positives, negatives, etc. Again, I'm going to throw the caveat. It is only pre-season, in which, yes, you can say it's only pre-season, but in the remits of those excuses or points, you have to judge what you see. So we're going to go over positives and all of those kind of things. It's all jumbled about, people. So I'm just going to bounce my thoughts quickly. First thing I said is I actually like Arsenal's pressing, and I actually like the way we've pressed generally this pre-season. I think Como was the best. There's obviously a correlation with key players are coming back. We're looking a tiny bit better. And you look at it, you know, Gabriel Jesus missed the tap-in. Nothing new there. Came as a result of Nwaneri pressing. Just before that, you know, Eze and Hincapié had a moment. And obviously Lewis Kelly's goal came as a result of us pressing high and stuff like that. So I did like the creative press, man. And I do think a series of players, I do think I've seen that from Havertz, Nwaneri, Zolis, Miles Lewis Kelly, and Gabriel Jesus. So we do look good when we're trying to win the ball back as high and as quickly as possible. So I do think that's one, people. The press is still a weapon. Obviously, the World Cup's, you know, made it a mess for us, and a direct consequence of being the best team in England and one of the better performing teams in Europe. A lot of our players were participating for their country in a variety of variety of stages of the tournament. Obviously, Rice, Saka have returned back to training, but them two, along with Zubamendi, played no part against Como. But several key players were arriving at different stages. You know, a new recruit, Bruno Guimaraes, could be one of those as well. And again, I would say midfield in pre-season is the one where you're thinking, where's our players? Because it was a needs must thing for large parts of pre-season, I feel, with Mikel Arteta in that midfield. I don't think we want to see Kai Havertz. Now, generally, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Gyökeres, again, I do think you need to do some shooting practice, because again, I'd rather you do it in pre-season, but you lot are offside far too much, missing chances. I think, you know, where Kai Havertz is concerned, people, he still might be the best natural fit for Mikel Arteta's system. For Gyökeres, it's more of a case of the supply line. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. Again, we need to judge certain players for what they are, not what they aren't. Gyökeres is never going to be pretty. Give him the ball, he can put it in the back of the net. I do think his shooting boots weren't there, and it would be interesting because you never had a pre-season last year versus you had one this year, how that looked. But I don't think I've learned anything new with our strikers. I have liked Miles Lewis Kelly in midfield. He's been one of the ever presents. You've seen him on the left, on the right, everything that we love about Miles Lewis Kelly, and he scored against Como. Obviously, him and Zubamendi, owing to Bruno signing, have been subject to speculation. And I can't do too much, but I do think when Bruno came on the pitch against Como, there was, off his own back, a lovely clip pass over the top for Havertz. which was onside, a bit like Martinelli's against Dortmund, people. You know, some good little passes, some good little link-up play. When him, Odegaard, and I believe Lewis Skelly, if I can remember correctly, there was some good link-up play there as well. So big up Bruno. Obviously, Eze's probably played, what, half an hour? I like the little cameo I saw from him against Como. I wouldn't say Odegaard set the world alight, but I like how Odegaard's performing. Like, our key players look a bit sharp, if I'm brutally honest, man. And going back to Bruno, man, receiving under pressure, breaking lines, you know, competing physically. We've got another bow to our arrow in that kind of regards, people. There's a decent amount of stuff, people. I think the Halen boys have done well. Obviously, the typical ones. I think Wanyeri against Como did very well. But I think off the ball he's improved. We know Arteta is very specific on where you got to stand and stuff. I think this preseason he's done well. I think Lewis Skelly and Max Dowman have been doing what they need to do. Young Marley, baby Saliba's done very brilliant against Como. Seeing man drop his shoulders. We need to be patient over the younger players, but you get the point. I do like what I've seen from Theo, from Copley before he got injured, unfortunately, from Ibrahim. I think all the Halen boys gave a good account of themselves, and where the Halen boys that we expect to play some part in the first team, the Dowmans, potentially Wanyeri, which his future is subject to speculation, Lewis Skelly, they've shown they're not here to make up the numbers. They're here to actually compete in their own kind of way, people. As I said, for me, I think Zolis looks positive. I think the boys who have come back from the World Cup look a bit sharp. I think on occasion, mainly against Como and to a degree against Dortmund, there was some good overloads. There was some neat 1-2s. There was an emphasis to kind of play the ball quicker. There's more of an emphasis on trying to you know, create overloads from central regions. I do think we're trying to find that balance between playing out wide and stuff. I think Calafiori looked good as well. So yeah, they're the things I would say I think we look good. Negatives, we've conceded some welties and we've also conceded some silly goals. I know not everyone's fit, but we're meant to be the best defensive team in Europe. So that tells me everybody. So there has to be a certain level, whether we're got our key players, which obviously would make a difference or not. I feel we've conceded some silly goals from set pieces, from, you know, we've conceded some weldies, but the run, the run which led to those goals wasn't good enough. Like against Como, the two young lads, they will learn a lesson there. That's one I wouldn't blame Kepa for. I wouldn't say Kepa's covered himself with any glory the whole of the preseason, but we've conceded, I think we scored 8, conceded 8, conceded some weldies, conceded some silly errors, you know, and all of those kind of things. I think the first team fringe players haven't impressed. Kepa hasn't, Gabriel Jesus hasn't, Fabio Vieira hasn't, Reece Nelson hasn't. And I know it's only preseason, people, but it feels like this is the preseason where we haven't been waxing lyrical. Like, we've not been scoring a whole heap of goals and mashing up sides and things of that ilk, people. So there's obviously caveats beyond that. I do like what I've seen from Zolis, people. He obviously bagged against Girona, assisted against Betis, assisted against Dortmund, won a penalty which was converted against Gyökeres, scored his penalty in the shootout against Como, has combined very well with a Hincapié or Calafiori, who both have looked good off their own back, people. He's looked direct, relatively bold-footed, very strong footballing IQ, and he looks like he's giving Martinelli questions. Now, I don't know how you look at it. Do you think Martinelli, owing to the fact that he's been here and he's more up to speed with the system, will be the starting left winger, or will it be Zolis? Yes, Arsenal fans, we want another one. So that's what I would say as well, people. And then ultimately, I think preseason, obviously, it's been underwhelming, but I don't think it's been disastrous. We've conceded 8 goals. I think there's too much of a drop-off when our elite midfielders are not there. Obviously, Saliba's absence defensively, you know, obviously you can't read into preseason, but is that a sign of things to come? I do think there's been vulnerability on the transition. You know, Noni Madueke, that penalty was horrible. A lot of these players, they're just doing what we've seen, people. There's still a lot of uncertainty around central midfield, more so around defensively, more so around left wing, about how we really go up the gears in an attacking sense, people. But, you know, I think Wanyeri's keeping his name alive. You know, Dowman looks special. Lewis Skelly looks like he's responding sharply. The other first team players look like they're fit. The fringe players are doing what we probably expect them to do. And yeah, man, I think ultimately we've shown, or maybe haven't shown, that we've got more individual solutions. But at this moment in time, Mikel Arteta hasn't shown us a finished collective, people. So maybe potentially the Community Shield will tell us a bit more. Who's going to play centre-half? Who's in midfield? Is Saka going to be there? If not, are you going to go Noni or Max Dowman? Is it going to be Zolis or Martinelli? Technically, is it going to be Gyökeres or Kai Havertz? I'd imagine Kai gets the nod in that regards. You know, how fit can we keep Benjamin White? Because on this moment in time, you're the only option there. Yes, we've got young Marley and Mascara, but we're already down to our bare bones, quote unquote. I use that term loosely. So that's what I feel I've learned in preseason. But let me know your thoughts, man.